welcome back to my channel. My name is Paola. We're filming at night, exclusive. I have never done this before. Welcome to a new video in the 12 Days of Bookmas series that I'm doing. Today, it's dedicated to all the books that I read during the summer of 2024. Summer was a really interesting, really cool season for me as a reader because I got to join Tome Topple, which is all about reading big books, like 500 pages plus books. I also joined Summerween, which is all about reading Halloweeny, horror, mystery, thriller, creepy books. And I also joined the audiobook champion challenge. That one was done by Libro FM. I'll just put the graphic here and save myself the trouble of trying to explain this all over again. So let's just get started. These are in no particular order, just in like a genre way that I thought would flow nicely. You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kaylin Bayron. This is YA horror, and I read this one for Summerween. I think this one was for the prompt of read a book set in the summer. You're Not Supposed to Die Tonight by Kaylin Bayron is about Charity, who is working as the final girl in this summer camp. It's not really a summer camp, but it's this like attraction cabin in the woods thing where they filmed a long time ago a cult classic horror film. And so the point of this cabin now is that they're reenacting this cult film. This one is so fun and twisty. One of my favorite things about this book was how short it was. It is under 300 pages. Super twisty, super fucked up. It's gay. That's another thing that I really loved about this one. It's really gay. And it really reminded me of my love for slashers. So like if you are into Scream and Fear Street, I think this one is the book for you. Leap, written and illustrated by Simina Popescu. This is a YA graphic novel. It's contemporary and it is set in a conservative performing art school in Romania. And it's about these two girls, one of whom is dealing with her like dwindling passion for dance, as well as struggling in her relationship because she herself is out, but her girlfriend very much is not. And so there's a lot of tension in that and a lot of self-doubt and guilt that is explored in this graphic novel. And on the other hand, our other main protagonist is dealing with a really big fat crush on one of her teachers. And the thing is that she really wants to impress this teacher, not only because, yes, she's a little bit in love with her, but also because she wants to be a spectacular dancer. And don't worry, there are no teacher-student relationships in this book. You don't have to worry about that. So that in itself was one of my favorite things about this book. It was just full of those hard conversations that you have to have with either your friends, your family, and sometimes, or especially with yourself, regarding like the hard truths about your relationships and your behavior and the way that you're approaching something that you thought you wanted. But my number one favorite thing about this graphic novel is the fact that at its core, this book is about friendship. I love stories that center on friendship and its importance, and how you're not, quote, just friends with someone. Like friendship is a very important thing to nurture in your life. And I think this one really plants a seed in young readers in terms of how we build connection and how we build long-lasting friendships. Highly Suspicious and Unfairly Cute by Talia Hibbert. This is YA contemporary romance, and it's friends to enemies to friends again, or to reluctant allies, I would say, more so than friends, to lovers. And it's about Celine and Bradley, who are just like so different from one another. Celine is like an influencer. She shares a lot of conspiracy theories on her channels, and Bradley is this really like clean-cut athlete. And so they join this wilderness program that is supposed to push them out of their comfort zone. And something I love about stories is when they mix the literal pushing out of the comfort zone while also pushing the characters out of their emotional comfort zone. I also love the dynamic, the banter. It is rom-com worthy. Talia Hibbert can do no wrong in my eyes. Every time I read one of her books, I come out happy. And also, I really loved the voice. I think that Talia Hibbert really excels at writing voicey characters in terms of like feeling like you're either having a conversation with this teenager or you're reading their diaries. It was so much fun. I highly recommend this book. For Eats and a Funeral by Farida Abike Iyimide and Adiba Jaigardar. This is also YA contemporary, and it is also friends to enemies to friends again, or reluctant allies to lovers. This one is about Tiwa and Saeed, who team up to save the Islamic center in their community from demolition. In this one, I really loved the flashbacks. I loved going back in time and seeing what their relationship was like before ending up so tense and a little bit like walking on eggshells and just like hating each other's guts. And I also really love the tension that came with sharing the same goal. Saeed and Tiwa are very different in their approaches to how they're going to save the Islamic center, and also as to why they want to save the Islamic center. It made things again very tense, really messy, really emotional too. I really loved figuring out these two characters and like the path that they had in mind for each of their lives, the way that this common goal connected with those dreams and ideas and plans for the future. I really love that as well. Minor detail, this was written by Adania Shibli and translated by Elizabeth Jacquet. This is Palestinian literary fiction. I think that's how it's categorized. And it has two timelines, one set in 1949. It follows an Israeli soldier who is part of this troop that captures, rapes, and kills a Palestinian girl. And in our other timeline, we have a Palestinian journalist. This is much later in the future. And she becomes really interested in the case of the raping and killing of this Palestinian girl. And so the novel goes into what it's like to look for truth when you are under occupation. For this one, the main highlight for me was the claustrophobic atmosphere. Like, this was the sort of story that I feel like put you in place and refused to let you go. Like, it forces you to never look away from what's happening. You never lose focus is what I'm trying to say. The story has the through line and it sees it through, and it's not written or expressed in such a conventional way because of the Palestinian reality. The Art Thief by Michael Finkel. This is nonfiction and it's about a really prolific art thief who never stole for money. He didn't do anything to the paintings that he stole or to the pieces of art that he stole. He just collected them, kept them for himself in his room. It was wild. This is the kind of story that makes you go, wow, life is really stranger than fiction, because what the fuck? Like, I cannot believe the amount of things that this person stole and just for himself. That just like makes very little sense to me. I also really loved that this felt like a podcast. It felt like really conversational, very accessible. So if you're looking for like a true crime thing that doesn't involve murder, you should definitely check this one out. It is so interesting and again, just really wild. Last but certainly not least, we have That Can Be Arranged, written and illustrated by Huda Fahmy. This is a graphic memoir in which the author tells the story of how she met and married her husband, and it is so funny. I think the art style really contributes to that sense of humor. It's really cartoony, really like newspapery style type of cartoons, and I just fell in love with it from the first page. It is just so grounded and it's so funny as well, even when it touches on the harder themes like loneliness and religion and the pressure that you feel from your parents and your family to just like get settled down and get married. I highly recommend this graphic novel. Super easy to read, super fun, and again, really funny. Alrighty, so that is it for today's video. Thank you guys so much for watching. If you haven't already and you'd like to, go ahead and hit subscribe, and I'll see you in the next one. Bye!